بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم ألهمنا مراشد أمورنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. The chapter is Kitabul Fitan. The second hadith of this chapter is also narrated by Huzaifa bin Yaman radiyallahu anhu, who was the narrator of the first. In the chapter of Fitan, he is known as the Imam. How he remembered those wording and how he gave it to the Ummah. The narration is like this, that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, تُعْرَضُ الْفِتَنُ عَلَى الْقُلُوبِ تعرض الفتن على القلوب كالحصير عودا عودا. The meaning is very, very deep and it can refer to so many things. تعرض الفتن means when fitna will be placed. Arad. When fitna will be placed upon the heart. And he said كالحصير. Hasir is the mats that they had in the time of the Arab. And it was made of that like lines. Called oud. So you put a lot of sticks together and then you tie it. Each stick itself is not the softest of sticks. This is not a mattress. This is called a mat. Like how we have our mats today of plastic. But theirs were stick mats. They did not have plastic. So you take oud, one stick and another stick. So you have some sticks going this way and then you have sticks going this way. This is called oudan, oudan. One stick and then you tie it this way, you bring another stick. It's to make it more stable. You put sticks this way, you put sticks this way. Whichever way you put it, but you're going to have sticks. And when sticks come together, you're going to have like blocks. Like either the blocks are created because sticks are going both directions, or sticks in one and then it's tied together. You have something tying it. The person who wanted to sleep normally, he would sleep on the, could call it a straw mat. So the na'im, the person who's ghafil, the person who's not really bothered, that's when a person goes to sleep on this, because this is not the easiest thing to sleep on. You normally will get rest on it when you're tired. So the na'im, the person sleeping, will put his body on this mat. And because the mat got lines, it is only natural that it will make lines on his body also. It is going to make an athar, whether he likes it or he doesn't like it. It's going to touch the body. And the first time that a person sleeps on it is not easy at all. We have never slept on a mat like that. So if you are told sleep on that mat, that night you're not going to sleep. The first time you will find it hard. But then every person will understand that if I do it couple of times, my body will get used to it. Although the mark will still stay. So Umar radiallahu anh mentions he saw Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's body when he got up from the mat and he saw the marks on his body. And then he saw, oh Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the kings of other countries, they got such luxury, they don't have this. So this is this mat. Whether you like it or you don't like it, it's going to leave its mark. But as you get used to it, you will manage to sleep with it. Meaning you will become oblivious of this year leaving a mark on you. It will become normal. Maybe somebody else will see the mark on you. You'll see the red in your eyes and you'll say something's wrong, but you're not going to see it. You became used to it. This is oudan, oudan. Like how that mat, each stick makes its own line on that person. So much fitna will come, that each fitna itself will be one stick of this mat. But it will not be the whole. It will only be one stick. The mat got lot sticks. Meaning don't only wait for one fitna. There's going to be many. And don't only wait to get knocked with one stick, there's going to be many sticks. Wherever you're going to try to touch, it's going to hit you. Meaning there's no place out of it. Kal hasir, it's your mat. As soon as you become negligent, that's the time you look for sleep. And when you're going to look for sleep, your mat is going to be by you. There was an indication, and the words of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam could have referred to many, many things. Many things. And it also refers to our era. It made indication towards that this fitna will hit you more when you're negligent, when you're relaxed. Just like how the man who wants to sleep, he will find the straw mat and he will say, I need to rest. This fitnas will hit man when he takes himself off what is called high alert. He goes into a relaxed mood, that's when it will knock him. These fitan will leave traces on every part of you, meaning your life. In the beginning you will notice it and you will say, what did I do? And after a while you won't even say, what did I do? It will just become normal. It will leave such dreadful marks on you that somebody else will notice the marks, but you will just be living normal. See the person taking drugs, you just put their hand up, you will just see injection marks. You can't miss it now. You will see their face has gone in, their body has gone thin, you can't miss it. You will hear one man screaming, you will hear someone shouting and fighting. You will see the person in his eyes, you will see in their walk. But the person himself, for him the straw mat is everything. تُعْرَضُ الْفِتَنُ عَلَى الْقُلُوبِ عُودًا عُودًا. Stick upon stick. Some went to the extent to say that in this narration they even found that عُودًا عُودًا means lines. Because when the world of what was called the digital world came, it was made with blocks. Whether we call it television in the beginning, and then they went on to the computer. It was all blocks. The combination of blocks gave you that picture. One block and another block. If you look at the blocks also, you find line, line. So that's also one. It's not the meaning of the narration, but there is also one fitna. That you will just see blocks, meaning you will see your mat. And it will be presented on your heart. Somewhere along the line you're going to see it. It will be brought on the heart and joined. So what we spoke about last week, can you run away from fitan? So Allah Ta'ala made fitna such that it was meant as a test to see who's truthful and who's the liar. There's no running away from the fitna. Whether what we're going through today, this test of this COVID, and all the different discussion, what it is, in the end of the day, it is one trial. And man has no way to run away from a trial. Everyone's desire is the trial must go. But as I mentioned, تُعْرَضُ الْقُلُوبُ عُودًا عُودًا. Some ulama have read the narration, عُودًا عُودًا. عُودًا عُودًا means one goes, another is going to come. One goes, another is going to come. Meaning don't wait for something to get even better. It might get even worse. But for the individual, he has to see that I have to get through these rough waters. I can't say I'll wait for the waters to become calm. Those waters might never become calm. As we're moving to what we think is the end of the match, as you go to quarterfinals and semi-finals, the matches doesn't become easier. It is going to become harder. If we are seeing what is called a worldwide drought at the moment, we think of drought normally when you say there's no rain, but drought means that whole system. That for some reason what the world was looking for, that thing is just shut. In this last year, the world saw to a certain extent a worldwide drought. But when we read the narrations, we read about that before the emergence of Dajjal, there will be 3 years of terrible droughts. So it's not going to get any easier. It might even get more tough. Man has to learn to say that if the waters are going to be rough for the next few years, I must be ready to go over those waters during these years. I must take my saman of protection, put on my life jacket, and I will have to move. Meaning I must not see this thing as it just happened and is going to close tomorrow. It might not close tomorrow. I have to become ready to see something that could be long. So instead of saying that I'll just now rough it out for a few days and then things will become calm, I'll have to start planning for what is called my future. That when the difficult times come, are we ready for those difficult days? We lived a life of what was called such comfort that no one in the world ever thought days like this could come. That every few days a new law comes out and the whole world goes into another system. So how do you look at fitan? So the narration explains now. فَأَيَّ قَلْبٍ أُشْرِبَهَا. There will be certain hearts. Ushrib. Ishrab means from shariba. That as though one color, it's called khaltul lawn bil lawn. Ishrab. when one color mixes with another color. This is as though the one color has drunk the other color. This is that ushriba. It says, فَأَيَّ قَلْبٍ أُشْرِبَ فَأَيَّ قَلْبٍ أُشْرِبَهَا. Any heart which takes this fitna and it allows it to be sucked into its body, and it moves into its every vein and nerve and fiber. It hits his mind, it hits his heart. Meaning he sees the fitna and he doesn't do anything to stop the effects of it. That's one mistake that the world is making today. When we speak about it's so terrible, when you ask the person, so what are you doing? Say, I'm complaining. That complaining is not going to stop the effect of that. If that man had to lie down on that mat and it had to make a mark on his body, then it was only right for him to find some cream, and you tell him now you have to rub the cream over the mark. Because if you're not going to rub something to remove the effect of the fitna, then the narration shows it will start entering into your body and soul. What yesterday was like, this is too heavy, tomorrow will become, this is light. That drug which would knock the person off, tomorrow it's a baby. أَيَّ قَلْبٍ أُشْرِبَهَا. That heart which allows it to be sucked into it. نُكِتَتْ فِيهِ نُكْتَةٌ سَوْدَى. Then the black dot will settle on that heart. And that's what me and you don't want. That fitan is there. One person says, I only want to see the news. He says, I never bought a television, but now I got my phone. He might even say, I watch more movies on my phone than on television. So the thing came. Every time he looks at the news, he forgets that he wanted to see the news. But now he's more worried about the news reporter. How she explains it is thrilling him. His own wife understood that this man is very interested in news now. He also knows it, but he became used to it. Can you stop it? Can that father tell his son, don't ever touch the phone? Tu'aradul fitan, that fitna somehow is going to find itself to say, you and me are going to join. You have to rest, I'm the mat. So what is our is that when that mark will come on the body, before we allow it to seep into the heart, we have to wipe it away. To wipe it away, that man needed cream. We need something called deen. Our greatest ingredient to wipe away the marks of fitan is called Al-Quran. Whoever will make tilawat of Quran will find it will wipe it very fast. What comes in the narration, that individual who makes the dhikr of Allah, then that dust that is there, that rust that is settling, it is wiped away. And in the dhikr of Allah, the strongest and the most unique and the miracle of all miracles is Al-Quran. While a man makes dhikrullah and he wipes it away, and he must make dhikrullah. But don't become negligent of tilawat. I have said this in many bayans recently, that majority of us, when we read Quran, we read it for thawab. That this is a book for every letter, I'm going to get so much rewards. In this world, Almighty Allah put rewards for the things the man needs the most. Example, he needs kalima the most, so he was told, I'll give you Jannah, just die with kalima. That kalima wasn't that to get Jannah. The kalima means that you need it so much that Almighty Allah said, Jannah is in front of you, make sure you bring this kalima. The more zaruri and essential an item is, the more Allah opened up the rewards in front. The more Allah made it easy for the tongue. وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. How it was opened up. The demand would have been, you can't even read Quran without wuzu. Almighty Allah allowed it without wuzu, read Quran. Don't touch the Quran, but you can read the Quran. How much of gunjaish was given? Sometimes you'll wonder, is it right what he's doing? He's using his topi, he's turning the pages. Using his pen, he's turning the pages. Even that was allowed. Just so that somehow or the other, the individual will read Quran. A miracle was opened up. The mind was able to retain. The tongue was able to read a language it never knew. All of that was made because it was so important that this cream which will wipe away the signs of this fitan, if the cream is not used, and that heart that takes it in, أَيَّ قَلْبٍ أُشْرِبَهَا نُكِتَتْ فِيهِ نُكْتَةٌ سَوْدَى, the black mark will come. وَأَيَّ قَلْبٍ أَنْكَرَهَا. On the other side there will be another heart. And that heart will also get knocked with fitan. It will see one after the other, one after the other. But it will continue showing, I don't like it. It's like how that person puts himself on the mat and he says, how uncomfortable. We have to understand that this is an uncomfortable world. It's not comfortable. Soon as man finds comfort in this world, he falls into the fitan. We have to see that this is not comfortable. I reached one place once upon a time, so a small discussion took place. So the one person was very, very happy of living in what was called Darul. We call it Darul Aman. South Africa to a great extent got more freedom than other countries. But in the end of the day, it's not Darul Islam. So he just said how lucky we are in these lands. That we enjoy that which people in Muslim countries don't enjoy. So I just corrected him on that sentence. I said 100% what you're saying, meaning the present Muslim countries. We are enjoying a freedom. But what we enjoying is not the real thing. As long as there is no such thing called Darul Islam, there's no deen. I said what you got and I got is not deen. And I said many of our countries are the ones responsible for Muslims around the world screaming in pain. Just because we're not seeing that scream, we're happy that they're giving us a good time. But it's not a Darul Islam. There must be that little level of inkar. Ankaraha means I'm still not happy. This is not like the final dream. The final dream is a land of adl and justice. No one steals, so no one lives in deep poverty. We don't have that in this country. We don't have it in anywhere in the world. The leaders steal like anything and the poor people suffer like anything. So you see a small amount of freedom, but that adl which Islam came for all, Muslim and non-Muslim, is not given. You go and look at that one who can't drink pure water, but his leaders are living their lives in the biggest of luxuries. You say, but wasn't that money taken to provide water to these people? That adl was not going to come because there's no Islam. If there's no fear of akhirat, where are you going to get it? But because the time came where we stopped not liking something, we liked it. And in the ending we said, I'm so happy with this life. I don't want another life. That is called ushribaha, that you start sucking it until it becomes you. Ayya qalbin ankaraha. We must remain looking at fitan and don't ever allow our heart to become normal with it. I must be the man who puts myself on that mat, and every time I go on the mat I say, how uncomfortable. Meaning, oh Allah, I'm waiting for a mattress. A time that can come that my environment is pure. The entire environment, there's no liquor in the environment, there's no filthy pictures in the environment, there's no filthy talks in the environment, there's no arguments in the environment. Then there'll be no cheating in the houses, there'll be no abuse in the houses. Whatever the world is saying, the rights of women, we also want the rights of women. But they're not going to find it in their environment. They'll have to change if that man is allowed to drink and that woman is allowed to walk around naked. And then you can scream 100 times that the man must not abuse the woman. It's not going to happen. That abuse is taking place, and in big numbers it's taking place. And unfortunately it's taking place even with our own Muslims. The reason is the environment is not there. He's also looking at filth. And he's also becoming like a monster in his house. And then when he looks at his wife, he sees her like a piece of dirt and trash. Then he goes for her. Then he is going to hit her and beat her and abuse her. So we also don't want that. Ankaraha, when you look at the system of the world, don't like it. Ayya qalbin ankaraha. Whichever heart continues saying, I'm not happy still. Nukitat fihi nuktatun bayda. Then Almighty Allah allows a white dot to fall on his heart. Remember this, normally we always heard about the black dot coming on the heart. And we said, I don't want the dot. On the other side there is something called a white dot. It's like when a child was in school, then the teacher had what was called those stars. Made the child so thrilled when the teacher put one star, like, well done. And he ran home, he's like, I'll do more neat today. I'll get 2 stars. So one is, we always heard of that black dot. I don't want that on my heart. We never heard of the white dot. Nukitat fihi nuktatun bayda. Almighty Allah puts the dot. Hatta yasira ala qalbayn, until it becomes two types, depending on how many dots you're getting, how many stars you're getting. The end of the year, the child says, count my stars. Same here, either you got black dot, black dot, black dot, black dot, or you got white dot, white dot, white dot, white dot. There will be two types of hearts. One is abiyad, mithlu safa. White that heart will be. The whole heart is white. You get a certain rock which is white. You see it also nowadays, you can see our certain tiles are white. But if you go to certain places, you see that rock, it's white, white, white. No dust comes on it, and anything settles also just slides off. It is a very slippery type of a rock. It's called in Arabic amlas. Very slippery. Like marble it is. So it's unique, that rock, that even when the dust comes, it can't stay on it, it just slides off. That heart which becomes white like the seer, it becomes such that even when the fitna falls, it just slides off. There's no qarar, it doesn't stay. He also saw that pretty girl walking past, you also saw. But he forgot about her the next second because that fitna couldn't hold. It just slid off. And for the other person, 5 days he starts thinking about her. He held. Because his heart wasn't slippery. Mithlu safa, and it's white like anything. And it's slippery like anything. This is a unique heart. May Allah give us all that heart. And on the other side, wal akharu aswad. Then there will be a black heart on the other side. Aswad. Mirbad. This word mirbad, the only place you'll see it perhaps is in Kitabu Sarf maybe. Say irbad, like ihmar. Those funny babs. What it means is that thing which has the color of ramad. Loner ramad. Ramad means like ash. See, one is black. But from black, they say the worst black is that black which is that ash color. It just looks dirty. Otherwise, sometimes something which is bright, you see one person bought a BM, a shining black BM. So their black doesn't look ugly. But that black which is like ash, that is not at all, it got nothing in it. There is no beauty at all in it. It said mirbad, that color of ash, that will be his heart. Meaning just filthy, you can see the filth all around. Kalkuzi mubkhiya. Look at the words of this narration. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said his heart will be like the jug, kuz. Mubkhiya, which has been turned, tilted. Tilted so much that whatever tea was in it is all flowing out. Sometimes you tilt it so much, little bit flows out, lot remains. But you know when you hit the jug, that's called mubkhiya. The jug doesn't have to turn upside down. It just has to turn on its side. As it turns on its side, you don't want to try it, but try it in your mind. Do you think tea will remain in this? Everything comes out. This is mubkhiya. What a unique example was given. The ulama said when the heart becomes like that, whatever is put into this vessel doesn't remain. You can hear the best of bayans, it just flows out. He can be put in the best of madaris, it just flows out. They can send him in Jamaat and says, please change your life, it just flows out. Mubkhiya. La ya'rifu ma'rufan, la yunkiru munkaran. Whatever is understood, this is right, he does not see it as right. La yunkiru munkaran, whatever is wrong, the worst of wrong for him, he can't see it's wrong. Illa ma ushriba min hawa, except what his desires say to him, that's the only thing he sees. He's just mad now. He's wild, he's evil, he's filthy, he's dirty. He understood from young that a certain type of relationship, boy to boy, is a no-no. Girl to girl is a no-no. Now he reaches a level that he says, how much you going to stop me doing what I want to do? And then he says, no one must stop me. I got my rights. And then he just goes. Ma ushriba min hawa. If his desire is, it's called the right of man. Whatever he wants, do it, fulfill it. There is no akhirah, there is no worry, there is no Allah. You wonder, how did you become like this? All you will say is it tilted. But what tilted it? It started with one black dot. And it never stopped. Kal hasiri udan udan. Fitan is going to be brought to the heart. We can't run away from it. Me and you will need to take rest sometimes. And as soon as we need to take rest, the mat will be there ready for us. You can't remain so much alert. But at least when we do touch the mat, feel it. That this is not a comfortable mat. I can feel the trace of it. Don't become so oblivious that when a man says that the internet, don't forget the word NET, there is a net. And when you're going onto the web, don't forget WEB, web. And if you see an eye, then don't forget that there is something called the eye of the Dajjal. When you see evil, don't become so oblivious and say, no, it can't be. At least so much that look at it and say, this is not right. Ankara. Don't become so accepting, whatever is said, whatever is told. I just hug, I just run. Ankaraha. Look at everything with the eye, what we call. Sometimes they tell a person, you see wrong in everything. In fitan, we have to see wrong in everything. We must not be the all accepting, because we want the white dots that come on our heart. As we see the fitan, then you learn how to drive around the fitna. It's not every fitna that you go straight for, head on, I'm going to slaughter it. It won't work. But at least so much see the fitna. Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqa warzuqna ittiba''s demand was that. That there will be the truth, but it will be so hidden that we won't see it. Allah, show me the truth. Then allow me to follow it. Let me first see it. But the man who doesn't see fitan, he will not feel that effect of that. It will leave marks on his body everywhere. Later on, he will also come and say, I don't know why in marriage I got no happiness. In the business I got no happiness. I just fighting and arguing. And then you tell him, why don't you just go back to last night, what happened? He said, no, that got nothing to do with it. You say, once upon a time in your life you used to fight. No. Then what changed your life? You'll try and tell him, maybe it was that smartphone that enters. He'll never accept that. That phone did nothing, but perhaps it did lot. That before the smartphone came, his wife was smart. When the smartphone came, she's no longer so smart. Because now every day he sees a new face. He was a man who never watched television. But now he's telling, the other day, there's one movie. He said, you watch TV? He said, no. But just like YouTube. YouTube, like, how you can watch it? He said, no, like, this is... What was the difference? He doesn't know what was the difference. Tell him, you don't want to leave it. Can't leave it. So he doesn't want to accept that something else is leaving marks on him. That he doesn't want to accept. Because he's so happy with the mat. Me and you will feel the mat. When we will become negligent, holidays will come. When you're tired of studying, imtihan just finished. That's the time I say, I just want my off. Normally we say when a person is in the aeroplane and when it's just landing, that's the time you just see everyone go in a relaxed state. That's when all the fitan happens. They even put on that music at that time. The music is to tell you like we're getting ready to go free now. Everyone just goes in a relaxed state. At that time the person of Iman ankaraha. He must just at least say, I don't like it. And just by saying, I don't like it, Christmas past 25th, make so much shukr to Almighty Allah. That because of madrasa never allowing the holiday in this time, when it started, it wasn't easy for some students. It wasn't easy for some parents. The 25th December, we always go out. Normally we would tell a parent, it's cheaper always before that or after that. We want to give you a cheap holiday. You want an expensive holiday. Don't go out on that night. But for him not to go out, what must I do on that night? You tell someone, read Quran on that night, he'll look at you shocked. Christmas night, read Quran. That's the best night to read Quran. But here in madrasa, some students wouldn't even know 25th came and it went also. That is a gift of Allah. Otherwise you'll go certain Muslim countries also, and you will find certain Muslim families and very good families, and people of what is called deen. They will also tell you that, on this night we go and we watch the firecrackers. And as they bursting it, 6 months of preparation. That country makes 6 months preparation firecrackers. And they burst it on New Year's Eve, 31st of December at a certain time. So the roads are lined with cars. But all those cars that come, they are all Muslims. And when they're coming and they're looking at firecrackers like New Year's, and you ask them, does this have even 1% to do with your deen? Or could there be something satanic in it? It can't be satanic in it. That's ankaraha. That you must just feel that I don't like this. Even if you don't know why. And you will get your white dot. But if you're going to be ready to suck everything in, a time will come where even in the Muslim house, there will be the Christmas tree and there will be Santa Claus coming also. It doesn't end. Ankaraha. Even if you don't know why it's wrong, just say, I don't like it. And Allah will give you 1 star. 1 white star. And you get so happy, yeah, I got a star. And as that heart gets more and more white, then it becomes slippery and fitna just falls off. May Allah Tabarak Ta'ala make all our hearts like this here. White, mithlus safa, like that unique rock that everything just falls off. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala save us from the evils of all fitan that is going to come. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala make us the unique people of the time. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin.